It is time for the second division of 3v3 League Season 4 playoff finals. It's a best of 5, and this is what the map draft looks like. Starting off with a pick. First pick for Emo Warrior is the infamous Chaos Pit. We should be in for an exciting game there. And El Dorado first pick. No, wait. Landnomad, sorry. First pick for Vangelis, the team Restrict. Then on to a couple of bands here. We have the first band, Lombardia. Thank you, sensible person, Vangelis. Good band, best band. And Haboom for EV Warrior, probably not their favorite map. As we go on for El Dorado as the second pick for Vangelis, and Enclosed for Emu. Whereas we have Desert Void Band. I thought Emu loved those closed maps, but yeah, Desert Void it is, it's banned. Easily walled and could be played almost like hideout and but of course there's nowhere to flee if your base gets breached, so that's a bit of a setback. Team Violence also off the chart, probably both teams happy with that one call, which leaves us with Arabia as the starting map. Okay. Let's speculate here. Let's see if Emu gets his Teutons. Do we have Teutons here? They stole Teutons off him! Vangelis has it on this side. Anyway, we're opening with Arabia. That has to be Britain's. It could be Lithuania's pocket. Unless Lithuanians could also be for Chaos Pit with their scars on food. So let's say Britain's. Magyars. Vietnamese perhaps? Just to make an educated guess here. Whereas for Vangelis' team, Hindustanis would make sense to counter a strong cavalry pocket. Ethiopians, Mayans has to be the flanks here. They're picking for Arabia first by the looks of it. Franks could be a pocket as well. They have both Franks and Hindustanis there. Well set for the first matches. Let's see how much I got wrong out of those here. Game on. Arabia. Beastie James. Saracens, yeah. I missed those. So Britain Saracens, good combo. Hindustanis pocket for the other team. Let's have a look. Sorry, got some mouse issues here. Mayans with Loom first here because they start pop capped. Need to pop up their houses and get going. Thanks for the raid, H4 Greeks. Much I appreciate that. Hello from Greece. Well, thank you, and hello from Norway. What was it again? The only Greek word I know, I think. Yamas? Something like that. I think that was it. Yeah, so Kronos Jr. here with Team Mayans flank. No surprise there for Arabia. I'm going to play the archers, straight archers most likely. These are high level teams. 1700 and higher, 1-1 rating, I would estimate. In fact, you could check the teams list here if you'd like. Through that link. In the pocket we have Vangelis with the Hindustanis. One of the go-to pockets to counter heavy cavalry play, so that should be working out well here potentially against the Magyars, we'll see. And Poco Pico with the Koreans in the blue here. Koreans flank, they have instant defense upgrades for the archer line units and the war wagons as well, so I suppose any range unit then. Or any archery. Yeah, anyway. Also probably going to play the straight archers. The distance between players is pretty significant here. So it's some distance to travel for the pocket to catch up, but with the mobility of scouts, which the pockets will almost certainly be doing here to open it, that couldn't be too much of a concern. Now let's have a look at... oh, hold on, we need to set the teams as well. Restrict. It's there we go. Team set. Second division it is. MT Explorer says, my prediction is that EMU's team will lose 3-0. And since the scores are public, that could be a spoiler, but it could also be that MT Explorer didn't check the results, so let's see where it goes. So, flank EMU Warrior here with the Britons has, from the gas stage onwards, an advantage with the archery range units, considering, or with the archers, crossbows and arbalets, sorry, because the Britons get +1 range for the archer line starting in the gas stage, and another one in the Imperial Age. Okay, we didn't check the score, that's good, so no spoilers then. In the pocket we have the Magyars, as mentioned, Capeman with back gold there, which is nice in the pocket position. Also a fairly decent wall off on the both sides. Not the hardest base to close, I think. Also going to open the scouts probably and have an advantage over the Hindustanis until the Hindustanis player can research the attack upgrade. Maester James with the Saracens. Very likely also going to play the archers here. Now going to gold at 19 pop here, so that's going to be the last 2 villagers to gold. Pretty standard straight archers build order here by the looks of it. The Mayans now going up at 20 population. And yeah, relatively early uptimes here for all of the players around here. EMU Warriors here on point to try and delay that barracks from going up, but Pocket Pico is tasking 2 villagers to build it, so that should be completing for the Eagle is here as well. Maester James about to drop the barracks. This does not look great. Good scouting attention here from Kronos Jr. and disallowing that barracks from going up for that. Whoa! Okay, the quick waltz going up there, and it's close enough to the DC for Kronos not to engage here as well. Tasking 2 villagers to keep up, but that barracks is effectively delayed regardless. So the Saracens archers follow-up will be lagging behind the opposing pocket of Kronos Jr. here, already about to complete the double ranges. EMU more on point here with the double rangers to the Britons, also 10% faster producing ranges now with the new balance. Only 1 range for Pocket Pico for now though. So range blacksmith instead of double range kinda makes sense. Will struggle to keep up with numbers, but will have fully upgraded archers well ahead of the Britons, since the defense is already in anyway. Side of scouts hoping to work together against Kronos' Eagle, but the archer is now already in production as well, and Fletching is just picked. It's not going to have much luck with the scouts, and in fact there are 2 green scouts out here as well. Thanks for the follow, Daniel 196611. Easy fight for green here, has the military superiority, however the Capeman with the Magyars scouts here. If he collects them properly, still has a tiny opportunity here to take this fight because of the instant forging. Yeah, Vangelis pulls away, but will meet up with the archers. Good call of Capeman to pull away there. South side we have EMU Warrior engaging against the Koreans. Second range is up as well, but the blacksmith gets a little bit delayed, so Fletching consequently also going to get significantly delayed here. No fletching for the Britons either though, but the archer numbers definitely well ahead of blue, which is advantage for Imbu Warrior, of course. However, top side, Mason James is going to find himself in a 2 vs 1 situation here, potentially. Capeman is here with some scouts as well. I guess let's see. Going right for the gold there. Archers joining in as well. Fletching is in. It's also in for Mason James. Fighting at home base, home field advantage here, but the scouts diving in to maybe get some sneaky hits in. So Hindustani's scouts numbers ahead of the Magyars now, because the Hindustanis have cheaper villagers. Good trades here by Emu down south, taking out all of the armies of Poco Pico, who needs to bail here and is off gold, which will impact the archers production further. So good team coordination between Capeman and Macy James here. They are slightly outnumbered both by scouts and archers, but they've been holding well for now, not taking any losses here. Emu Warrior, on the other hand, has managed to find 2 economic kills, but with higher idle town center time behind all this for Capeman and Sons, they are still at just a tiny economic advantage. Emu could guard this gold though, and the other gold spots of blue are tough to defend. They're actually forced into skirmishes as well. And one, oh, that's just a spearman. Lonzo Wall, thank you for the raid. Grinding away at the newly started stream. Appreciate that. One of these days I'll go drop you a follow, Lonzo, just didn't quite get there yet. Yeah, dead even in army here. Let's see who has the better micro. Looks like Teal is dodging slightly better here. Scouts not engaging against each other. Now Scouts diving in. Magyars no advantage anymore. They're dead even in upgrades. Defense just slightly later there, and that might have cost Yellow the fight actually. Oh, great fight from Restrict here. They are going to clean up Macy James' armies potentially, or at least force him off the gold over here. Archer numbers, yes, they're somewhat even, but there are still a few scouts in here to meddle in between. And yeah, good trades here. Great micro from Kronos. Capeman still ahead in economy, but that might not last long with this kind of aggression here, being forced away from the gold now. No back golds for Capeman to, no, for Macy to flee to either. Had to be this one in that case. Yellow Scouts joining in. Emu still doing nice. South side actually fighting the skirmishes of blue until the skirmisher numbers can get nasty enough for Emu to have to back off. Looks like he might be pulling out now, but in the meantime Macy James is taking significant losses here. 6 villagers down, and it's going to become even more completely off wood. Only one woodland that's being punished big time by Kronos Jr. here. Thanks for the follow, Paco. And archers on the mine still alive here. Cancellation on the way as well. Wow. Great aggression by Restrict here for sure. Trying to scramble up a tower on the gold now, but the archers could still camp underneath the tower foundation if they camp at the right side of the correct side of the town center, so the town center just can't reach them. They decide to pull away though, and that's because the cancellation is on the way, and Kronos Jr. could strengthen the push forward with some siege weapons. Cape Man is on still on the positive side here because Maester James has, no sorry, Imbu has, wait, he only got 3 villager picks. But it did force Blue into significant amounts of skirmishes here, so if some of the Magyar scouts join in on this side, are able to join in on this side, Imbu could still do damage with the ranged units there. Cape Man going Castle Age as well, but well behind Restrict's pocket. It's about a minute difference here, so that means that the camels will start massing before the Knights can. Maybe moving over to the Lions side now. I wonder if he knows that the Lions player has the exact same plan to go over to the opposing side here to either hit the pocket or hit EMU. Maybe it's going to be EMU. Oh, he turns back. Turns back. Just kick the Cast Age. This could be devastating actually. If Kronos had moved all the way over to EMU's side now, that would be devastating because EMU's armies are over here. Way out of position. Crossbow is in, should be easy to break through the walls here now, and the Cape Man just reaching the Castle Age will not be able really to get any Knights out here if the... I guess the food gold count is decent enough here to get going. Get some Knights out. We'll have to be patient, can't really let the Knights out. This is 18 crossbows that need to be added. Tries to scramble up the town center there on the woodland, that's not gonna happen. Villagers now going down, Kronos Jr. No ballistics obviously yet, but still aims well and gets an elevation advantage here as well. Going to get more villagers before this town center eventually completes. Camels joining in as well, which means that the first few knights here will struggle to take out the crossbows. The crossbows could obviously fire away at the knights as well, then +2 defense is in, but they just don't have the numbers yet. Red might stabilize a little bit here, but that's a long way from the Castle Age still, and the crossbows once again denying the town center in the back there. Great recognition. And the Cape Man, the Magyar's pocket now taking a beating here, as you can see the economic advantage is scaling into Restrict's favor here. They have a slight military advantage as well. They definitely have the tech advantage, as Cape Man and Sons, one of their team players is not in the Castle Age anytime soon. I wonder where Ebu's armies went. Maybe yeah, they have to move over to clean up the crossbows and camels over here. That makes sense. Town center now deleted, which means that Cape Man would need to buy stone or mine stone to afford a new one. Now trying to break out before the Britain's armies can engage here. They do have that +1 range. So they have 5+3 range. They outrage the Teal crossbows, but this group of crossbows, they've done works. They've killed 12 eco units and 6 military units through their raids so far, and another wave of the mines units now. Again, making life tough for Macy James over here. Still only one woodland for Macy James. I'm surprised the crossbows don't just sneak over to the other side and guard it from the outside just to not take any risks here. Archers moving back home, but archers fighting crossbows, I don't know about that. Camels and knights. Knights, 6 knights, 16 camels. Massive difference in the pocket army numbers here now. Taking a hill as well. We'll probably just try to get the best trade they can get here. Focusing down some knights, but yeah, eventually the crossbows will go down, but they more than earned their value over here. Crossbows now denying wood income from AC James completely. Again, look at the resource situation. Even the Saracens market can't save this. But Castle Age at least on the way. And now with Emu's armies all the way up on the right hand side, the Koreans, mainly skirmisher army here, are trying to break through and deny Emu some more army numbers, perhaps. I suppose once again finding a spot to guard the gold over here, forcing Mason James to garrison, and once again off gold here. Only 32 gold in the bank. Can't do anything with that. Suppose these are going to be elite skirmishers then. There's not that much cavalry help from the pocket to deal with those. So with about 15 elite skirms or 14 elite skirms here, that should be decent against the Britons here with some cavalry assistance from the pocket. Nearly 50 villagers difference here. The military-wise they are matching though, but we still need to get that crossbow and bodkin upgrade from Mason James, and that's hardly affordable here. We'll have to sell the wood and at least get bodkin here, or maybe crossbow first. I'm not sure what you're getting first in this situation. First of all, we need to conserve your numbers, as Teal has found the new woodland of Mason James, and once again denying him of wood completely. Yeah, Emu taking the trade here, not really microing at this point. Could have traded much better against these feudal age skirmishers if it just pulled back and used the range advantage of the Britons, but will clean them up, which is at least something. Also has the 10% faster working ranges of the Britons, so it's easy to replenish numbers regardless of that. Campbell numbers well ahead of the Knights numbers of Cape Mendo, and the Hindustanis also got bonus damage against buildings. Hindustanis camels and light cav or scouts line unit, so they can deal with the production buildings here, so that the Cape Man will need to replenish those stables, but he doesn't have the wood for that currently. 40 villagers killed by Kronos Jr. Ridiculous, and now a third DC being added as well. Looks like Restrict is a significantly stronger team, looking at the progression of this this game so far. But at least on Arabia, we could see different approaches on other maps. Camels diving into raid now and triple stables production at home as well. Emu now going to try and punish Vangelis at home base, but that's a large mass of crossbows. Almost all of the armies of Emu Warrior now far away from home, and can't really do much to protect against any raids at home base. Mayans 56 crossbows and counting here. Mace James moving out maybe to join Emu Warrior over here to hit the pocket. Quite exposed economy here that these crossbows could punish at least. But they're leaving their pocket at home to die as well, and I don't see the Magyars contributing much anytime soon with the way this is going. Look at the resources in the bank here now, it's just being drained more and more and not able to reproduce. Double crossbow mass here, Saracen's bonus as well, so they can take out buildings efficiently because of that Saracen's bonus. But is it going to be enough though? No armies here really to help out other than some from Procopio and maybe some of these camels as well, but I mean they're hitting at the perfect time here in that sense, since the Imperial Age is on the way for Vangelis here. It might be hard to afford the appropriate upgrades in the Imperial Age with these kinds of raids going on now at home base. Only lost 8 villagers so far though, so relocating efficiently here and keeping the raids up at the Magyars home base so that the Magyars player can't provide any military to aid the crossbow armies here. Now they're also not staying together here, the red and purple or pink or whatever armies, which could be dangerous. Could give Restrict a window of opportunity to clean up the masses here, but now yeah, they're gathering again. It's about 50 crossbows, it's not something you take lightly. 1 minute 30 seconds for Imperial Age for Kronos Jr. though. completely idling the Cape Man at home base, allowing Vangelis to pull the remaining camels back home and now queuing some more. In fact, all of Restrict now on the way to the Imperial Age, while Cape Man and Sons are all in the Castle Age, so they are about to be dominated there, even if they eat up these TCs. There's not much to stop 50 Mayans Arbalest over here from raiding Cape Man completely to death. 42 villagers, not even queuing villagers. Has Cape Man given up here? And where are the villagers? I guess they're all relocating down closer to Ebu's side. Camels intercepting some Emu reinforcements here now. Could dive in here and get some decent trades, but waiting for heavy camel instead over plate parting armor. Maybe that makes sense, maybe not. Huge massive armies to be dealt with, but now full on Imperial Age against full Castle Age here for Cape Man and Sons, and besides that, Macy James at only 18 villagers here, not much to benefit from that. Sounds like the GG is being called here. Understandably so, Restrict takes the first game. On Arabia, we'll be moving on to Chaos Pit or the other home map of Cape Man and Sons. So let's have a look. $120.45 here for Carlos Jr. Pretty dominating KD that. Who means the eco lead as well with the big rates on the Saracens and Magyars. Not so much on the Britons, but enough to keep them away from their home bases. Not many villagers lost throughout the game for Restrict here. Stop times, but more efficient from Restrict all the way. Even with the biggest villager count actually, and also didn't really lose any, but would be as soon as the armies forward were cleaned up here anyway. Good efforts from Cape Man and Sons, but Restrict takes the first game. And MT Explorer is getting closer indeed. Let's tick off the civilizations used here and move on to the next one. Hindustanis. Mayans and Koreans, was it? Against Britons, Magyars and Saracens. Right. Yospit or in close next. Let's see what they bring us. Game 2. Chaos Pit. Right, Chaos Pit. As the name entails, it is chaos. Sometimes you see players, since you spawn so close, you'd see players try to lame the deer of your opposing flank, because if the deer are spawning on the side close to your opponent, that's something you could do. You could try to push the with your scout as well, but that's obviously less efficient than just killing them up and rendering them unpushable. Doesn't look like we'll be seeing that here though. They're all collecting their buffalo, water buffalo on the map without water, by the way. Yeah, but collecting them close to their town centers to keep them safe from laming. Let's just have a look at the civilizations here. Cape Man, as the Byzantines, not nearly as reliant upon gold as other civilization. Kronos gets the first hit on the scout there, will win that scout's fight. Macy James with Lithuanians. Chaos Pit has 2 patches of berries and 5 deer, and then the water buffaloes, how many? 6 total. So it's low on food, so having that extra 150 starting food with Lithuanians will allow you to go up at least one population lower without it affecting your progression much. And finally in the pink here we have Emu Warrior with the Bohemians. Maybe thinking about some bonk shenanigans here, or late game Hoofnieces and Russet Wagons, who knows. Fantastic mill spot here as well. You could mill both patches of berries to a decent efficiency here. Didn't go to the edge yet for the lumber camp, surprisingly enough. Very heavy on the food here, Emu Warrior, but these four are probably going to go up here to break through. And gold's quite close in that case. And jackpot for Macy James as well, gold right over here. Kronos Jr. with the Bulgarians. One of the few civilizations that could actually go men-at-arms and towers on this map because of the instant upgrade for the militia line of the Bulgarians. But also crepost, towers, castles for map control, 3 stone buildings for the Bulgarians to benefit from could be a nice way to claim the map and deny the opponent's resources. Vangelis with the Teutons in the middle, also with a potential great meal spot in the middle here, but takes only one of them. Reason for Teutons could be the cheaper farms, to be honest. It's easier to get your food economy going and to play extended scouts until you break through, actually already well on the way here. So been microing the villagers well, 2 villagers on 1 tree to make sure you can get through as smoothly as possible. And considering Poco Pico is over here and sees the gold already, that's probably going to be where Vangelis will go for gold access as well once it's through. Burmese for Poco Pico. Reason for that pick is probably, among other things, the instant lumber camp upgrades once you pass through the edges will help you get through a little bit quicker if you're not already through by the time you hit the next age. Scout not daring to engage here, but Emu could have in theory tried to take a pick off here and take that undoomed builder. But yeah, Burmese battle elephants super strong if you get to amass them. The infantry also +1 attack per age starting in the feudal age. And the Iron Bile unique unit, of course. Ooh, great scouts coordination in the early game here for Macy James and the Cape Man, taking out 1 teal villager, possibly 2 since Loom isn't in yet. That's going to be 2! That is going to be 2. And it's not going to be a 3rd because by now Loom has to be in, come on. But completely off the woodland here, significantly delaying Kronos' Junior's wood income, and Kronos Jr. probably kicking himself for not... Oh, it's going to be a 3rd actually. Kicking himself for not small walling in these villagers earlier on. One more hit and it's now... Oh, come on, guys. Commit. Commit. Let's see the hair snipe. Nope. Good efforts from Macy James though. Let's see if that backfires. That lame attempt backfires later. Disaster. Yeah, disaster for Kronos for sure. Risk rate all going up at 20 pop here, but that's a little bit higher for Kronos, who is actually queuing the militia here. Having the instant upgrade is only going to be 2 though, because you won't be mining any gold. It's still 2 militia. It's not on stone displacing the mining camp now, so this has to be a Man-at-Arms Towers attempt here to try and deny the Cape Man breaking through on this side. Range going up for the Cape Man, that's going to be some Skirmishers and Spearmen though then. Both cheaper for the Byzantines. Thanks for the follow. Low Elo Legion. And now a second mill on the berries over here for Emu Warrior as well, doubling up on the good income while also committing to skirmishers and spears, I suppose, with the Bohemians here. Getting close here for the Burmese. 39 more wood to get out. Yeah, Chaos Pit's a good map. So what's going on over here? Tower is going up for TL. It's going to be a second one on the stone. Oh, look at that. Both of these towers denying both stones from red. This could be absolutely horrible for Cakeman if this tower completes as well. Did commit to a counter tower, but Cakeman will not easily be able to batter down this tower from TL if this tower completes, because there's cover fire from this one. Nice scout pick off there as well. 2 scouts for Macy James though, so still going to provide here. Oh, needs to micro these villagers away, but now could garrison this tower, and Kronos Jr. should be well set to take out this one and only defensive Byzantine's tower. Will have to repair his own for a bit because the Byzantine's buildings are higher in hit points overall, but it's still good pressure, and it completely denies the Capeman for now until it's 2 over here. And the additional stone for defensive towers. But as you can see here, there's stone in the back here, and the Capeman will probably be going for that once this tree has been chopped through. Trash rush from Warrior to the left hand side here, using the starting scout still as well. Just being plain annoying though, not doing too much of consequence here. Blacksmith coming up for Vangelis, wanting to get to the defense and attack upgrades for the scouts perhaps, or maybe just aiming for a relatively early next stage. That's some close outposts over here. Does not want to get surprised in the back here. 5 scouts to 4 scouts, so numbers advantage for Restrict here. There are, at least in terms of scouts, they're outnumbered overall by Capeman and Sons here. It looks like the Capeman was actually able to take down this this tower from Kronos Jr., so maybe not that much damage done after all. Oh, Macy James with the scouts over here, getting some nice pickoffs on Blue's side. Takes out 2 gold miners of Pocopico, who's lost 5 villagers thus far. Going to lose maybe yet another one. I heard a tower go up somewhere, but not entirely sure where it was. Now scouting for gold in the back here. Might get lucky. And Backless now essentially wasting the two scouts here to the Bohemians' spears over here. But Blue seems to be the first one to get gold access. Macy James has it as well. Blue arguably. No, I think Macy James is closer to the castle age here. It's Kronos' Junior's responsibility to be the annoying one here. Is joined by some scouts, but there are some yellow scouts over here as well that could easily stop this tower from going up if Capeman doesn't do it on his own. He's bought stone to get... no? How did he get stone? For another tower. He's mining stones somewhere. Maybe it's going to... ah, it's going to yellow side. That explains it. Okay. Smart move. To be able to get another defensive tower up. And Kronos Jr. will have to bail on this tower most likely. Spearman going down as well. Now stable. Bohemian stable from Ebu. Okay, that's interesting, but it could be just to scout the backside here, I guess. It's not something you see every day. Bohemian's one of the most useless stables in the game. Castle Age is also well on the way here, so Cape Man and Sons certainly come prepared to their home map Chaos Pit, as you would expect from a home map. Nicely denying the wooden comp here yet again as well, so Kronos Jr. is he's taking the beating in this game. Not going to be able to, well, he is technically true, but will not be able to access the gold. Still not be able to access the gold and has to commit to the feudal age for longer. Actually, it's still doing some annoyance here, but Imbu will actually make some knights here, okay. If anything, that's a surprising move to the Burmese player, so it's not something you expect of the Bohemians. Might just work. No, I've always seen it actually, so you could just make some spears and hold it off, no problem. Teuton's scouts joining in here as well. Vangelis got quite a while to go to the Castle Age, but will clean up some of the archers and skirmish, the Knight of the Bohemians here, that they don't have bloodlines, they barely have. Well, I suppose they have the blackness upgrades, but they just don't play cavalry. Okay, let's getting some raids in here. The eco situation is seemingly similar, as is the military count. So the fact that the restrict is lower on the idle Townsend time overall is doing them favors here. Might just be what keeps them in the game. They are significantly behind with the Castle Age though, so they should be outnumbered in Castle Age masses here for that reason. We'll see how the cavalry of Cape Man and Sons raids here compared to the others here. Cape Man also approaching the Castle Age now. 3 players of Cape Man and Sons. Now to enter the next stage. Townsend on the gold there, nice. Extending the economy in the backside of the base. Funnily enough, Arbalists of Byzantines and Bohemians here would absolutely demolish most of the things the Teutons, Bulgarians and Burmese could do here until they get to Imperial Age and stronger siege weapons. That's not really the road Emu or Cape Man are going down now, but we see Bodkin for Cape Man at least, and he has the range from the skirmishers earlier, so the option is there to get some crossbows and eventually Arbalists out. Town center from Mason James as well. Going to establish a powerful economy here for the Lithuanians now. The monster is up as well. There's at least one relics that's quite close. That's not been scouted yet, but I think that's going to be visible once this town center completes. Also, town center of the stone indicates that castles and lightis might see the light of day here. Houses and stone walls now. Team wall effectively covering all the middle of the map for Cape Man and Sons here. It's not the strongest team wall as of yet, but if they manage to wall off the sides as well, they'll effectively secure half of the map to their own benefit. Decent chunk of Lithuanians. It's out now. Okay, that's hard to spot that relic. For the time being, is going for the far away one first. That's going to be that one probably. Lithuanian knights doing some proper raids on the Burmese side, though. Not enough knights of Vangelis to challenge this, even with the Teuton's melee bonus. +1/+1 for both players. No sign of any additional upgrades as of yet, but Macy James getting great trades in against Wilders of Puerto Pico here. Even if the knights go down, this is great value. +2, not having +2 hurts for Mason James right here now, but he has to dodge the monk anyway. I guess he's fine. And through these raids and the economic extension of several town centers, Cape and Sons are establishing a very convincing economic lead now. Garrisoning this TC should keep this aggression out. Still only +1 for these knights and remaining scout, so not too much of a threat. We'll probably see a castle going up on somewhere around here and not too long. Stone Income not allowing it just yet, but Emu is about to get the first castle up as well, and is going to go for a forward one, I guess. Nice monk pick off there. What's the relic situation? 2 relics for Macy James, +2 instant attack for the Lithuanians. It's going to be tough for Puerto Pico to stop this castle from going up. Once it starts building, it's even just outside of his vision. But yeah, a couple of defensive towers and a monk to task the villagers building it could stop it. But Imbu is really competing as well. He's not joking around with his forward cast. There's 16 villagers. That's almost 1/3 of Imbu Warriors' economy, and is also about to enter the Imperial Age and getting chemistry on the way there. So maybe we'll see both Hoofnise and Trebuchets here. This is just to hide away the castle to make sure the castle completes and the trebuchets can be added. Maybe the Hussite wagons as well. 3rd relic, not quite brought in yet, but Macy James is close enough. And ooh! Well, to be fair, the military situation isn't in Restrict's favor here, and seeing the forward castle or not, they decide to tap out and call it. There's a castle going down in the middle here as well, so Byzantine's castle's not something to joke around with. Grab post in the back here, not going to keep that from happening. I missed all this crossbow investment, but that's also what I said. Crossbows are blessed here against these mainly infantry civilizations. That's the way to go. So hard for them to deal with. Burmese have useless skirms, Bulgarians only get archers, and Teutons only get crossbows. You have to rely on siege weapons. Let's have a look at the statistics. Great raids here from Macy James. 47 builders killed. Really brought the economic advantage into the hands of his team here. Also, best economy. So even Warrior with the 4 town centers not quite kicking in yet, I guess, but he was also aiming for an earlier Imperial Age to start pushing on that side, which seems to scare or restrict away Imperial Age Bohemians with 4 town centers in the back. That's, yeah. Maybe where you realize you're not in a good spot to fight, and yeah, just outnumbered in all kinds of population here. So, Chaos Pit for Emu. Was Byzantines, Lithuanians, and Bohemians winning that one against Bulgarians. Burmese. And what was the last one again? Students. Now, first home map for Evangelis' team. Land Nomad over Eldorado. Land Nomad could go for a long while, but it's a Nomad start, so it could go in any direction. So, you know, Eldorado, more open map. Yeah. Should be interesting to see which one they go for. And yeah, let's quick look at the civilizations as well. Land Nomad, Mongols, probably Portuguese, Berbers. Eldorado, Turks comes to mind for middle control. Italians as a cavalry counter, and Burgundians would be a good pocket civilization as well. Let's have a look at game 3. Going to be Land Nomad. Here we go. So Land Nomad, Nomad start here, villagers starting very much spread out here, so they need to walk quite the distance to get that first TC up. Looks like Kronos has a luckier spawn here, finds a good starting spot for the town center. And same with Macy James with the Khmer over here, might find himself in a position to free boom with the Khmer, which is something you'll love as the Khmer to do. Have an unobstructed boom all by yourself in the top side of the map. But Vangelis is also with one villager over here. Not quite sure really where he'll be settling yet. Okay, so it's quite close to the Khmer player. That's actually good news for Restrict to be able to obstruct the Khmer player from any cheeky, super fast castle shenanigans. Capeman settling down south here, going to find Poco Pico near the edge and settling in a way where... Oh, this is actually brilliant for Capeman and Son's team with Vietnamese here. Once the town center is complete, they will see the location of the opponent's town centers. And this kind of placement, if you scout properly here with the sheep around there, you'll notice that you could deny a lot of space of Poco Pico here with walls alone. You could actually wall in Poco Pico here with less than 100 stone worth of walls. And then he can't go anywhere, as the Berbers. He has gold though, so he has gold and stone, so isn't completely lost here. Could wall himself in and then expand later. But it's not the prettiest spot for a starting TC, and they flared it as well. I wonder if they're going to try and wall him in or anything. Maybe. At least they'll know the location of all of the players now. I think I like this positioning for Capeman and Sons. They have one here, one there. Sort of in the middle of the three others, but the distance between Vangelis, Kronos, and Poco Pico is still really far. So Vangelis, Mongols, faster hunt, going to have a super fast fuel age here, or a super fast cast age if he finds enough boars and finds that worth the risk. But wouldn't rule out a scouts opening here, being the Mongols. We'll see. Unless the TC trick fucks things up here, but it seems to be fine. Kronos with the Turks. Castles and Janissaries most likely. But yeah, now it's found that there has to be one player over here, seeing the board carcass. But you could also make an argument for Turks cavalry archers, if you're able to mass them. They are fully upgraded, so that works out as well. Turks struggling in the trash department to the defense. They don't have halberdiers, they don't have pikemen, they don't have elite skirmishers. So I think a cast drop on Janissaries might be the play here against the Emu Warrior, who has the Incas, by the way. So might be thinking about some Eagles style play here, but has slingers against the infantry, has fully upgraded arbalest as well. Lots of options for the Incas, only lacking cavalry really. And Mason James, as mentioned, with the Khmer. fast and efficient farming can farm anywhere without needing meals to drop off. Is that all? Yeah, Vietnamese for cavemen, but that's why we know the locations of the town centers already. Which is convenient for sheep scouting as well, because you'll not risk moving too close to the enemy town centers. Now, since it's a novel start, I'll take the liberty of fast forwarding it a little bit, at least until we see any sign of the feudal age around here. We keep an eye on their scouting as well. It's going to be a 19 population up for Kronos Jr. So what I thought was going to be a castle age play here looks to be the scouts. Maybe underrated play for the Turks, because the Turks scouts have +1 pierce armor from the very get-go, so you would withstand much more town center fire, especially after you get first defense as well. And playing the scouts sets you up with a nice food economy to follow up with a castle age Janissary push later on, since the Janissaries cost food and gold. Berbers walling off at home base here, 2 on gold, so seems more like a castle age approach here, but way too little food to go straight up unless it sells the stone, buys food. I guess we'll have to see what this is going to accomplish here. Caveman and Sons up at higher populations, but that's in return that's going to give better economy returns in the next age as well. Couple of scouts for the Turks now. Good way to explore the map and claim the map as well. Maybe hoping to find some exposed per economy here. In fact, the hunters over here are quite exposed. So Teal might get lucky. Blacksmith market for the Vietnamese also going with 4 villagers, no more to stone here. Knowing of course that the Berbers player is right down here, you could, once again, you could deny a lot of expansion of the Berbers here and production and everything by forcing them to stay at the edge of the map as they are. Yeah, as suspected, it's the scouts, or at least the scout from the Mongols. Maybe just a fake scouts play. Scouts to scout the map a little bit and then just aim for the castle age instead. Is 4 or more on gold here. Blacksmith coming up, second building needed for the castle age. Probably going to go to stone over here to... No, it's actually going for the hunt. Would be too surprised to see a Mongols castle drop either. Where are they fighting? Spearman just poking away here. 13 farms from the Khmer. Not on gold yet. But going for the scouts as well. 3 scouts. Turks play with the scouts as well. Where are these guys trying to hit? They found Emu. But Emu is also on the way to the castle age here. Might be going for the... straight for the eagles here then. The barracks is going up. Turks bonus coming in handy here as the town center gets some shots in, but they have +1 pierce armor already. Caveman now in the castle age, being heavy on the stone here, only missing 30 stone now to drop a castle. I mean, why not just drop that forward, really? Okay, places it at home, near the stone to protect the stone, and to some extent this gold will still be able to make the unique unit, of course, at least after committing to gold later. But with this kind of uptime, why not just go aggressive with the forward castle and... yeah, I don't know where you would drop it, but... It's gas stage now for the Turks. Are we on stone? We are indeed. 3 on stone for Kronos Jr. No upgrades on scouts for any player just yet. Once the gas stage kicks in, those 5 scouts of the Turks will also instantly become light cav, which could be come in handy, for example, to clean up the Khmer scouts here, or just to continue the raiding business. Ibu in the gas stage as well, dropping a second town center on the gold. Only 1 barracks, not making any eagles here as of yet. But going heavy on the gold, so it still smells like eagles to me. Yeah, second barracks going up there as well. Berber's friend also in the cast stage here. Does Red have vision over here? Not really, but now the Rat Archers are moving over here. And yeah, Blue just immediately bails on that one, but now it's open over here. Could be that Capeman heard that even. Not sure what why they're flaring that area. Could be just maybe the scouts are around here somewhere. That's the idea. So restricting some trades in here. Light cab obviously from the Turks now as the cast stage sets in. And the castle for the Janissaries does not go up forward. Janissaries should be okay. That's going to be great against the Eagles actually. So maybe Incas are at quite the disadvantage here. What's going to see Berber's cavalry here is going to be camel archers. Pretty sure that castle will complete without any issues. Top side is just a spearman poking away here while Vangelis has gone heavy onto stone to be able to drop a castle once that castle age sets in, and that surely that castle has to go down here somewhere, unless he wants to mass up the Vangelis. No, here he goes. Got spearman to protect here as well, so Mason James scouts can't really stop any castle from happening. Over here would be a good spot as well, but this essentially denying all of the safe farming economy is perfect. It also denies one gold. It's too close to the palisade, but he is still going to be able to place it somehow, I think. Mr. James also buying a tiny bit of time with the palisade foundation there, but now with the spearman on point, this castle completes. No problem. Yeah, really bad news for the Khmer here. We'll need to relocate all of these farmers, and the town center is also not really safe by any means here. These villagers could just go to stone or gold over here and make themselves useful, while Bangladesh is adding a second town center at home and extending the economy a little bit as well. So we got a wood gold situation. Funny enough, we pulled all of the lumberjacks away from home, but now with the town center going up on the woodland here, that shouldn't be an issue. Bow's always in as well. No, it's only double bit actually. Light cab and Janissaries out now. 9 eco kills thus far. Staying close to the production buildings as well, as the eagles are being made here by Emu. They won't be doing much against the Janissaries. Janissaries should outrange the Rat Archers as well, so that shouldn't be of much concern. Even Bodkin isn't in yet for the Cape Man, so 8 range versus 5 range here. Main issue being lack of numbers. Light Cab should be going in front here to tank some arrow fire. They have the Pierce armor, as you know as well, but purely because of the numbers, Cape Man and Sons will be getting decent trades here if they choose to engage. Angudai and Knights for the Mongols here. Not too shabby that. Neither of them have any upgrades whatsoever on the cavalry. Mr. James has Bloodlines actually, so he has the better cavalry of the two. Now, I thought it was going to be the cavalry archers here with the castle for the Berbers, but it seems to be the cavalry after all. 2 stables producing. It's cheaper for the Berbers than any other cavalry civilization in the Castle Age, except for maybe Poles. As Green extends the boom and keeps Mason James at home base here, going to take out that town center as well. Could claim some of the farms to deny Mason James. More income over here. 4th town center for the Turks as well, and the Janissary number is decent enough over here. Main issue for the Janissaries here is that they are not with the best mobility units. They move rather slowly. They have about the same speed as longsword man or man at arm, but still comfortably outranging the Rattan archers. It's just that the accuracy is way worse. Could be scary. You need to focus on the eagles, because if the eagles get close enough, they'll still chew up these rather fragile gunmen because of their low hit points. Mangadai doing work over here though, only fletching, but having that ranged unit helps out a little bit in terms of focusing on defensive spearmen, for example. They're both raiding each other here, but now the eagles are over here, which is a clever even warrior. Since won't be seeing any Janissary gunmen over at this side for a while yet. Still going up for Poco Pico, and it's being cleared many times by Imbu Warrior. This is not good for the gold income situation of the Incas, and no gold means no more eagles. Imbu Warrior not going to struggle for gold just yet, but is moving away. And considering the mobility of the Berbers cavalry, should be able to catch up and snipe these villagers maybe. Rattan Archer is way out of position, so this castle could definitely not get denied. Effectively denying eco expansion of Imbu Warrior here. I said it was out of gold access, but it's got gold over here, so it's fine actually, gold wise. 5 town centers now for Kronos. He's not joking around with the boom, this guy. Also 20 Janissaries, deadly unit. Incas, Eagles won't be doing much against that. Berbers cavalry over here. Oh, Janissaries, they could get the sandwich maneuver in here. And clean up all of these Rattan archers, effectively all of the armies of the Cape Man. Do we have +2 on the Berbers? Not yet. Yeah, they should stay together, really. Defensive castle should also, making cabinets now. That makes sense, obviously, against the the knights, but we still have the Janissaries to counter that, right? Gunpowder unit against an infantry unit. Looks like Vangelis has cleaned up the raids on the right hand side, but the Khmer boom has moved further north as well. All said and done, Maester James has taken 2 huge losses. He lost 14 villagers, yes, but also managed to take 13 of Vangelis. But Vangelis was much earlier to the Castle Age and has been able to extend the villager count earlier as well. Enough stone for another castle for Vangelis. That should definitely be going up here if he's allowed to deny that economy yet again. No Janissaries here to help take out the Kamyuk, so Emu might still get some cleanups done over here. They're moving over though. And the Rat Archer production has halted, and it seems like the Cape Man is heavily housed as well, so not the most impressive army production of the Cape Man here, even with being less subject to the aggression here. Castle at home base now for Vangelis. I like that one. It's walled off the top side. It's got a castle here to prevent access, and house walls this area to deny the Eagles entry in any direction here as well. Nice. We'll need some stone walls behind this to keep the Eagles, shouldn't say permanently out, but nice. Janissaries over on the gold spot. Good scouting by Kronos here to find where Emu is still taking gold aside from the starting base here. And Mangonite chasing Eagles, which might favor the Eagles if they're allowed to get close like this. Doesn't look like green is paying attention, but can of course hit and run. Moves faster, way faster than the Eagles. Nice games with some counter raiding action. I don't think that worries the Turks player all that much. It's unless this is the MTC and it's not the Imperial HTC, so the Eagles should be just fine here. Turks have access to heavy camel as well, so that's an option for them. Main Janissary group now. Grouping up with the Berbers player also on the way to the Imperial H, who has been mainly booming here, doesn't have that much military stuff going on here. Slight military for restrict, but they have a convincing economic lead here. Now second castle for the Turks, going down close to the Inca side here as well. Khmer have been delayed adequately by Vangelis top side here, and the Cape Man has fled to the rescue for Emu Warrior several times and also not been able to field that much army. Going Imperial Age though, which will help to get siege weapons out to take out any castles. Speaking of castles, this one gets at least temporarily denied, but once the Janissaries can get over to this side again, this castle will definitely complete. Siege workshop app as well. Instant chemistry for the Turks, so you could queue siege weapons here like the bombard cannons and stuff as well. And if the castles aren't enough to make enough gunpowder armies, you now also have access to hand cannoneers from the archery ranges as the Turks, so you could mix in hand cannoneers with the Janissaries to get the army count up more quickly and efficiently. Oh, Emu and Mace, says the author. Well, I feel like it's not looking too pretty for them this game. They are quite behind, but they did take the previous Chaos Pit game, so there's this set is all open. It's a best of 5. Mangonite numbers increasing as well. Last armor, not something you need to stress. Bloodlines would be a handy one though. It's had the stables for a while here for the Mongols, so it's pity that Bloodline hasn't been a priority here. Would boost the stats of the Mangonite quite a bit. Looks like it's idling for Imperial Age though, which makes sense as well. Get some trebuchets out, get to Elite Mangonite. Economy looking sharp as well. Economy situation, generally speaking, looking great for Restrict here compared to Cape Man and Sons. Berbers player with the Cavaliers. Janissaries here to demolish more and more, and Emu dropping lots of theses here. Isn't that what you're supposed to do on Nomad? Now switch to the battle elephants for the Vietnamese here. Slower, but will trade decent against the Cavaliers if forced to fight, I guess. That's how you're supposed to reboom. Yeah, or just boom. It's not the safest reboom I've ever seen though. The day Janissaries Hussars now out on the move as well. Should probably go up to the Khmer, to be honest, the Hussars. Just to make sure Macy James is kept on the tiptoes as well. Way too many Mangudai here for the Eagles to comfortably engage. Only 2 Eagles now, all out of Eagles for Evil Warrior. Battle Elephants getting an honorable mention here, but still it's so much easier to mass Berbers, Heavy Cavalls and Knights. What's the Cape Man's equals to? Yeah, he can't keep up this this Battle Elephant spam for long. So that's obviously a concern. It's going to be much easier for the Berbers player to keep fielding units. Gold situation not fantastic, but it's enough. Great pressure and great push from Restrict here, taking it to the 2-1. Will bring us to the second home map of Cape Men and Sons, most likely. Unless they choose to pick the opponent's home map, which they could do as well. Yeah, I guess good pressure from Vangelis. Didn't look that good, to be honest, but kept Macy James busy. No Murphy boom up in the north. Turks scouts into Janissaries seem to work, built up a decent food economy to sustain the Janissaries later on, and claimed the map with some mobility and, more importantly, getting some scouting in, since they don't have the Vietnamese bonus. Cape Man was a mystery to me. Why didn't Cape Man make more military this game? Had the castle flap just stopped making Vat archers and focused on the economy instead? Didn't seem like the right call with all the pressure going down on EBU and all. Well, that's a 2-1. Let's make sure to mark Land Nomad for Vangelis. It's their home map as well. Vietnamese, Incas, and Khmer losing that one, while the Berbers, Mongols, and Turks come out victorious. Very likely to see enclosed now, in which case I think we'll see Burgundians pocket, possibly Ethiopians and Italians flanks. Unless they want to go for Men-at-Arms Stars style play with the Japanese, also an option. For EMU, Hans pocket probably, and could be Chinese my lay flags, to be honest. Unless they want those for Eldorado. No, Chinese is for Eldorado actually. So Hans, Malay, or even Cuban's pocket. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just hop into the next game. I'll start it and I'll need to get some water. But that should be game 4, right? Enclosed coming up. Okay, moving on. We have enclosed on our hands. We have Emu Warrior with the Dravidians. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean, but it's usually going to be... I could play some infantry masterpieces, to be honest, but probably going to be some kind of double range opening, like they also did on Arabia. Meta style, we have the Capeman with the Hunt's Pocket here, which means that they're probably saving the humans then for the pocket position on Eldorado, if that's being played at all. We don't know that yet, because Restrict has the match point there. If they win this one, they're fine. They're the winners. But yeah, Hunts, 20% faster working stables as well. Not going to benefit the Dravidians in particular. But maybe basically games to the Malians if he goes for some late game shenanigans with the Farimba cavalry. But Malians here smells like a men-at-arms opening into... and with towers or some such, playing into the strengths of the Malians. As for Restrict, we have Portuguese on the flank for Pico. Organ guns I've seen with success on enclosed before, but you could also, or you have to... You can't really go straight organ guns here because the stones and goals are so exposed. You have to open maybe either with infantry or just straight double range archers and try to obstruct the resource income of the opponents as best you can. Restrict definitely better on the more open maps, and this is because of this unbuildable terrain. Is effectively quite the open map, even though you could wall your core area around home base. There's no gold or stone in that area. You need to move out to get the resources. Even for the berries you need to move out. Frank's Pocket for Vangelis. Honestly, what I thought they'd want for Eldorado for easy securing of the middle with the cheaper Frank's castles, but it's gonna work out alright here as well. This map should favor scouts opening with the Franks accompanied by archers because, yeah, you need to move out for the golds and stones and berries on this map. Also, with the abundance of berries on this map, that's also a reason to favor the Franks a little bit here. And finally, on the right hand side, we have Kronos Jr. with the Ethiopians. Faster firing archers. Always a nice asset to have in 1v1s and team games. So, should be trading well against the Dravidians, although the Dravidians might also struggle to... I mean, the Dravidians might be able to more easily mass numbers of archers compared to the Ethiopians because of their 200 wood bonus early on. I haven't really ever seen it, but in theory I guess you could, instead of ranged blacksmith or double ranged blacksmith, you could go triple ranges with Dravidians as well, just to boost that early archers production. But that it still leaves you with a gold issue to be able to advance the archers though, so that's probably why people are not doing it. Just speculating here. As Macy James is chasing the scout and he's going to be up first to the feudal age of the two. But speaking of feudal age, Restrict are well ahead of Capeman and Sons here. Actually, Poco Pico is with 30 seconds of idle time, so that delays that feudal age quite a bit. But the other two are just about there. It's an 18 pop for Emu Warrior as well. Actually, the smoothest app of them all, but real quick up for the Ethiopians here with the feudal age now in. Two villagers building the range and going to be the very first one to produce the archers here. Somehow able to afford double ranges, so I find that impressive, even with that Ethiopian's little resource bonus and everything that lets you delay the food income a little bit and makes it easier gold-wise to produce archers. 18 pop, double ranges. Someone has probably been watching the baguettes play here. The French teams. Double ranges, of course, affordable for Emu Warrior here as well. All three on 20 pop here for Capeman and Sons. Economy basically dead even here. But First to produce archers is Kronos. Not consistently because of houseness issues, but still has the faster firing rate. And also has fletching on the way, so should be in a good spot here. Would be in an even better spot if joined up with the Frank scouts on this side, and looks like that's Vangelis' plan over here. Just leave Poco Pico to hold a 1v1 versus the Malians player, double ranges from the Malians as well. And then battle it out 2 vs 1 or 2 vs 2 on the right hand side. The Gateman is Hans, so he has 20% faster working stables, makes it easier to get a numbers advantage if your up times are comparable, but with the what seem to be earlier up times here for restrict or at least lower idle TC time, Vangelis is keeping up, and besides it's also the Franks, so until Bloodlands can be researched, the Franks have an hit points advantage over any other scouts opening cavalry sieve anyway. What's Mason James doing on the other side? It's similar numbers here, getting chased away. Gold access still for the blue player, but blue a little bit on the back foot at least. Right, we have tiny military advantage for restrict, but negligible. What's the upgrade situation? +1 defense coverage for Franks now. That could shake things up big time here, because the Huns player doesn't have any upgrades whatsoever just yet. Yeah, Frank's definitely trading much better here with the +1 defense, and leaving Emu almost defenseless here. Scouts diving in to pick off archers here now. Archers picking off the scouts. Restrict taking a great fight here on the right hand side. On the left hand side, Mason James isn't doing too much damage, only got 1 villager pick off there. Restrict, however, because of this intense army micromanagement, they're running idle with the town centers, and actually still somewhat falling behind economically here, unless they have wheelbarrow and anything, but they don't. Five villagers lost for Emu Warrior, and counting is taking a beating here, and the Frank scouts are still trading better because of the upgrades here. Tower goes up, but the archers could camp underneath that one. Shouldn't really be something. No, it's pulling away actually. Oh, that's smart, using the scouts to soak the tower fire so the archers didn't take any hits while moving away. Okay, I would have loved to see the archers stay, to be honest, because there still aren't any upgrades on the Huns scouts. Double stables now for the Huns, 20% faster working, and 2 stables pumping them out. But if you'd kept the 9 gold of Emu Warrior here, then Emu Warrior wouldn't be able to do archers at all, and also wouldn't afford another defensive tower. I think it was a mistake not to stay there, to be honest, given the development of things. Eco situation catching up now for Restrict. Still pumping out archers out of double ranges for the Ethiopians as well. Not much military here to deal with the stray archers of Macy James forward, but a couple of defensive skirmishes of Poco Pico takes those out. Now moving out for almost for the first time to try and deny Maestri James Gold over here, but Maestri has better numbers also on the way to the castle age here, so we'll get a tech advantage and a head start to the crossbow upgrade. But with the damage done on the right hand side, Restrict could still be in a decent spot here, even if they're committing fully to feudal for a little bit more. And then double stable scouts is paying off for the Cape Man as well, of course. Going to lag behind the Franks through the castle age could be an issue later on, but right now has the numbers advantage by far over the Franks. Also full upgrades, which means the Franks aren't nearly as benefiting nearly as much from the higher cavalry hit points anymore. Let's see if the micro pointer focusing on the weakest one first. Okay, hitting and running. Emu joining him with some archers here as well, just to properly clean this up. But looks like the remaining scouts of the Capeman will be going down, which means the Capeman will have to commit to more feudal age armies here. And it's going to delay the castle age even further, but Franks, Vangelis now on the way already. That could be a big issue. Could be a huge issue. Castle age now for the Ethiopians as well. And the third range while going up. Both for Mason James, can he do anything here on the Frank side? The timing is good. Castle age halfway there for the Franks. No military, barely any military. And it's all the way over here anyway, so that won't be doing too much. Maybe we'll be forced into a defensive tower here. Two blue skirmishers won't be doing all that much here against these masses. There's gold in the bank though, so if Vangelis just pulls the armies away, good flare there just in time from Kronos as well. But some builders will be going down regardless, and the crossbows might even get to hit some of the Franks farm economy. With the castle age kicking in though, this group of builders could possibly place town center on this gold here to secure that there's stone and wood to justify that for sure. No, oh, there's a market as well. You could sell food for gold here if you need to produce units. Castle age still 25 seconds away for Kronos, so doesn't want to engage here obviously against crossbows with the archers, even with the numbers, small numbers advantage. +2 on the way in. Triple stables now for the Franks. Once +2 is in and you have 4 or 5 knights here, that should be an easy cleanup. Crossbows moving away, they're moving towards the Ethiopian player, which doesn't really make sense. Crossbow Vulcan just kicked in for Kronos, so Kronos will have armies most likely close to the home base here. Now they're trying to wall off the side, but you can't wall this section anyway, so it's never going to be hermetically sealed by any means, the right hand sides here. Pulling the villagers away. Will the Franks knights come in now? Yes, they will indeed. Looks like Kronos will be conserving these villagers' lives, no problem. Crossbow mass is moving out as Castle Age just kicked in for Ibu Warrior. Ballistics in for the Wallins as well, will hit targets more easily. How many crossbows in here? Could be enough to clean this up yet, even if Mason James claims a choke point here. Yeah, that wave of crossbows, they haven't really done that much damage. Crossbow Vulcan now for Poco Pico as well. Should have a numbers advantage here, but needs the upgrades of course before engaging. Means that Mason James will lose yet another wave of armies. Seven knights from both pockets now, so Cape and Sons have been doing great with buying time with these small raids of Mason James to the sides. 10 villager kills, mind you. Emu did lose 7 earlier on. Eco situation ahead for Cape and Sons. This, however, should be a good fight for blue. More numbers, a few sneaky skirmishers mixed in there as well that are hard to focus on, but will be also be providing in the fight over there. Defensive mangonel from EMU, but the Franks Knights, one knight moving to the back to try and snipe that one. No, actually not going to commit. Ethiopian's instant pikeman coming in handy here as well. Yeah, good micro from Kronos here. Lacking ballistics, they both are. But being this close, it matters less. Dodging that mangonel shot as well. Will need that mangonel out of the way to effectively engage here. So they're pulling back closer to the reinforcements as well. Oh, Macy James has the numbers advantage again now, 41 to 22 over here. Good pressure on both sides from Capeman and Sons now. A little bit of elevation advantage here for Kronos Junior, perhaps. That mangonel should be going down. The Frankish Knights are committing, and there's nothing here to repair and to save that. Capeman, however, has the Knights numbers advantage here. 3 stables to 2 now producing, and the Hunt stables produce faster as well. This is not good news for the Franks, as a huge wave of crossbows from Macy James is now moving and possibly going to go for the Franks economy again. Certainly not ideal for the Franks player to have to pull back home and defend this now. Overall, great military production and numbers now for Capeman and Sons, so they are dead even in economy. So right now Capeman and Sons can be favored, but will Macy James survive the mangonel shot here? Dodges that one nicely. Mangonel now exposed to could try to risk taking that one out with your crossbows, but looks like Macy doesn't want to commit over here. Pico keeping the crossbow numbers close here to try and track the movement of the Macy James crossbows. Town centers protecting the economies here now, so you could just garrison and be relatively safe here. One big shot maybe. 18 knights now for the Franks, 28 crossbows. Mangonel not getting the hit and gets focused down by the crossbows. So what could have been a big hit and really shook things up here, not quite going to happen for Restrict, unfortunately, and still a wave of 16 crossbows to keep raiding for Macy James here. Probably will be getting some builder pickoffs now. 18 knights, but they are busy fighting up here against Emu's push on this side. Crossbows not being allowed any damage, so the good hold by Poco Pico as well. Now stonewalling off this side to funnel the aggression in through the choke points over here. So the map is becoming more and more closed as we go. Looks like a better fight for Restrict on this side now, though. It's they're outnumbered in military overall, but on this side they're definitely getting a cleanup. And the pocket cavalry numbers now 4 stables producing for the Franks. That's what I want to see here to try and keep up with the Huns. EMU 20 crossbows, Kronos 48 and counting, and 4 ranges producing, whereas EMU has gone into elephant archers. That's going to take quite a while to mass, and he definitely doesn't have the food economy to keep that up. Oh, so close, but the stone wall will complete, so the crossbows can't sneak around here again. Villager will go down, but the walls will also complete, so Macy James will now have to move to the choke point over here to get any armies through. The same as what Ebu Warrior has been doing up top here. Twice the crossbows for Macy James though, and is also well on the way to the Imperial Age here as the first player. 1 minute to go for the Imperial Age. Unlocking Arbalest, however, Malians don't get Bracer, so they have weaker Arbalests than the other Archers civilization in question. 2 Mangonels here from Pocopico, but only using one of them as Macy James is looking for exposed economies yet again. Will find the Ghost Souls, but Blue is pulling away. Will potentially conserve most of the villagers here. Why hasn't Pocopico been collecting stone for defensive castles here? That's the question. It's just started by the looks of it. But Macy James is walking into dangerous territory here as well, with 2 Mangonels now chasing and a handful of crossbows. Villagers will be lost, yes. But Macy James also risks losing a huge mass of the crossbows before the Arbalest upgrade can complete. Once again, sub-optimal Mangonel shots here, and we have to give credit to Macy James for the micromanagement as well, but he's going to lose most of the army mass here again, loses a lot of the crossbows before Arbalest. Left with 32 Arbalests total though, so not too bad, not too shabby. All over 6 going Imperial Age, but the Huns player well ahead compared to the Franks pocket here. It's fewer Knights overall to become Cavalier, so it could still be favoring the Franks side here. It looks like they're committing on the Macy James side here. It's the Arbalest mass. Not too scary, but even without Bracer, the Arbs are doing work here. Range is the same, because without Bracer you don't get that extra range advantage in the Imperial Age, but obviously they'll still have more hit points. 5 hit points more. Knights diving into raid here. Non-Bracer Arbalests, much less scary to Castle Age Knights than Bracer Arbalests. If Vangelis succeeds in getting us around here, will definitely be set up well to clean up all the Arbalest mass of Macy James here. No castle for Macy James, so can't really get that new Ethiopian's unique technology either. Yeah, cleans up most of the Arbs here. 5 ranges, reproducing them though. The Arb mass forward has been cleaned up as well. Now what's going on the other side here? Emu stuck in the Castle Age is going to struggle against Ethiopian's Arbalest here when it kicks in. Arbalest Bracer coming in, going to outrange the crossbows now. Defensive Castle here, doing some work for Vangelis as well, but the Huns Cavalier dive in here. Let's see if they can quick wall in some houses, stone foundations, something here to keep the woodland safe. Yeah, Arb is in for the Ethiopians. Should be an easy cleanup here. Restrict, however, behind in economy here, and they're going to fall further behind with these Huns raids over here. But they are raiding themselves again. Arbalests of Pocopico to hit Macy James at home base as well. Feel like the Arbalest power spike here is going to do way more for Restrict than Cape Man's economic advantage and their armies currently at work here. They're going to lose so much of their armies, and especially Ebu Warrior is going to struggle to benefit anything from the Imperial Age here with the Imperial Age just clicked, but all of the armies lost. Malians still committing to the Arbs as well, but no Bracer, mind you. So and this Arb mass is going to be of huge concern to the to Maester James' numbers. Good raids in on Maester James, finally losing quite a bit of builders here now. Franks with the Cavalier in as well, 34 Cavaliers to only 18 for the Huns. I think it's time for Blue to go hit the Huns at home base. Very exposed home base here for Yellow. Very exposed. Scrambling up a panic defensive castle there, which Blue won't be there in time to deny. But there's still so much exposed economy to be hit by this wave of Arbalests, and if you're also replenishing the Arbalest numbers at home, these are arguably expendable. Yeah, Respect establishing a massive military lead now. They're almost, through all this raiding, they're almost catching up in builder numbers as well. Mangonel shouldn't be a threat to brace Arbalests. Yeah, in pure numbers, Maester James is going to trade well here, though. We really need a defensive castle up here for the Portuguese on this area, but the Stoke situation is still a little bit too low. Evil Warrior trying to scramble up the town center here. I'm not sure he's going to succeed in that. Wants to secure some forward builders gold here for the yellow player as well, but nope, that town center denied at 96.82%. Unfortunate. Imperial Age in for Emu, but only 16 crossbows to benefit from Bracer, and isn't he gonna get Arbalest? Maybe he can't afford it. Okay, yeah, uses the market a bit there to get Arbalest in, but restrict. Caught up in economy now, 40 military more. Yes, there are quite a few Malians Arbalests here, but they are still weaker than the Portuguese ones that are about to match the numbers shortly. Forward castle for the Franks means that trebuchets could enter the field over here, and you could still queue trebuchets from the back here, which Green is doing. So Evu's one and only defensive castle is also at risk of going down. Huge chunk of Ethiopians Arbs here. Yellow not able to afford Paladin, while it's already in for the Franks here. Army strength wise, Restrict is just dominating this here, even though they took quite some damage to raids and the efforts of Caveman and Sons. You barely even need the trebuchets here with the attack rate of these Paladins currently. And the GG is called. Game ends with a 3-1 for Restrict, but GG well played to Caveman and Sons as well. Nice set. Let's have a look at the stats and conclude this cast as well. With the convincing Franks KD here, even more so for the Ethiopians, especially that Arbalest powers back, just obliterating Emu's crossbow mass. And maybe just wasn't expecting the Imperial Age to kick him as it did for the Ethiopians, but deep into enemy territory there really backfired on Ibu Warrior, even with the raids and aggression they had going on. Frank's best economy here, they are great with their instant farm upgrades and all that. We did see some town centers going up on the berry bushes as well, which gives a little trickle of food that maybe saves you some farms. And 43 villagers in the end. Hunt's Pocket also with a good boom there, but not able to get to the Paladin upgrading with somewhat equal resource income, at least gold wise. Didn't get to the Paladin upgrade, and that hurts when the Franks player gets it in, because then you'll be looking at a huge hit points advantage for the Franks. Can just see 1-on-1. Guess who wins this? Franks with some extra hit points on the Paladin because of the 20% bonus. But yeah, that's it. GG well played, and congrats to Restrict for winning the second division playoff.